Okay, so this is Aquaria, where the controls might not be as useful as I remember. So, page 1 of 8. Can we go to next pages? Maybe I'll use the mouse to see. Right, so we've only got up to there. 12 minutes in doesn't seem right for my saves, so I don't know where my progress is. But it was one of the first roguelike-y sort of games that I played from the Humble Bundle, and was pretty cool. So there are a lot of different powers. Again, you know, remembering everything. We've got all of our singing powers and everything. So we've got a few different things, and the songs give you powers and different things, and if I even remember how to do them, which I do not. And that's how you do transformations to do different things.
Spoke, and his voice was forever burned into my memory. In perfect detail.
Demonic detail. So these are the official channels. If you're not watching on one of those, then you are not someone stole my content.
You have witnessed, though you have struggled and fought. It is all fun.
Hopefully the volume is okay.
World is my canvas. I will paint upon it whatever I see fit, until I have completed my masterpiece.
And the game is a bit of a masterpiece.
Little Nija, a flaw.
Naya.
But you come from one who is perfection. You will be
His face is
companion for the
hanging
rest
off
of
strangely.
eternity. You will
But that's because he's like a
be
3-phase boss.
witnessing my final masterpiece.
But I am a conscious being, with my own hopes and desires.
And a friend.
I do not belong to you.
Who you're just completely blanking. Who we saved along the way.
Efforts, ungrateful one.
Yeah, we're very, very ungrateful.
Before me and worship your creator.
No, because you're destroying the
No,
world.
I will not. I have lived free. I've explored beyond.
You have been allowed to play in my world.
Why do you sound like a kid now?
You will love me and nothing else.
Demonic
Have
voice.
you ever truly loved? Has anyone ever willfully loved you?
No.
Love an aberration, a foul symbol of chaos.
Why does such a small creature frighten you so?
Because we can defeat
Perhaps you're
him.
not as powerful as
If
you
if it hadn't been for 10 years or something since I played, and I remembered the songs to transform to do the different powers,
you dream to be.
showing off this game might not be as easy as I planned.
Then you must die.
Right, so, okay, so we've got a little helpful person there who is also doing right, so. That's the one! Little bits of, no, not, don't transform back. Then, how do I shoot? No, stop transforming back. Are we just auto-firing? Right. So I'm trying to avoid whichever button is transforming me back. Okay, so there. We could do something. This may not be the one that shoots though. This may... I think we're just beaming lights. Okay, so we need a better transformation than that. What was this one? It gives us a shield maybe? But you learn the different songs as you go along. Aha. But, you know, when you haven't played them... Ay. Oh, shit. There we go! Now we can start fighting the boss. But the different songs that you learn across the world. It's a good job I've got a good memory and I remember basic playing styles. But you learn these things, right? So I don't know our other transformations, but this one's at least offensive to start fighting the boss, the final boss of the game. And yeah, it's a really cool game, and you learn the different songs, and there's a lot of different puzzles. There are some Simon Says sort of puzzles. Right, why are we shooting blue now? Are we exhausted? I think we've used up all of our mana. And I'm now empty. Right. Which isn't helpful. I've used up all of my ability to shoot. Right, so I might need to change transformation now. Right. Okay, that's not good. We don't want to get hit by that. No, we're dead. And then end screen because we died. Embarrassing. Much. Well, anyway, let's go explore the world rather than go into the final boss. So that's a save crystal, and then there are different things like these, which, if you don't get glitched onto it because we're grabbing the floor, do open if you have the right powers, but I don't know if I have the right power for that. Hopefully this big red box that's being highlighted isn't showing on the recording, because Streamlabs is deciding it wants to do that. Right, so the light one is a good one that you do need to go into dark areas, and we may or may not be right in an area that's close to a dark area. Right. Is there something that I need to do to get through this that I've completely forgotten? Am I progress gated into the final boss because I don't remember how to exit through there? Right. I mean, see that we are shooting out blue bits. Again, our friend is sort of helping us, right? So I don't know what these blue bits really do for us. Yeah, I may have to load up an earlier save because when I haven't played in years, it's especially for it to sort of lock it into the final boss area. Oh, okay. So we can look at the different things maybe, and that might help us, right? So these are all the stuff that I've collected. If I give the mouse, right? So these are the add-ons and these are the songs. Okay, so we find the different things, right? So sun form, yeah, which I was already in. Nature form, which I don't know if that's helpful in any way. Beast form, that's the one which we were shooting the stars with. Lee? I wonder what Lee would be. These are the very basic ones, so shield, Lee, and then binds. And these are used to pick up things, the bind one. So fish form helps us swim faster, I believe. Spirit form? I don't know what spirit form does. Dual form? Let's see what dual form is before I... Actually, let's read the last one. Okay, so dual form was that, wasn't it? Okay, let's try that. No, I didn't mean to save. So we're already in a shooting offensive form. I don't know which form this is, but we'll go with it because we are in an offensive form. Probably spirit. It's definitely a fighting form. And, you know, I don't think this one is going to have problems of running out as much as the other one. Why can't we get through that? What is the problem with getting through that? That's what I want to do. This one's definitely a much better fighting form, whichever form we're in. Unfortunately, it's like... Right, so... Song, no. So, that's dual form. I guess we merge with that guy. But that still doesn't let us go through that in any way. It just lets us merge together. And again, can we... We can. It's only a charge shot though. Right, so I'm going to go into the boss, and then if we fail, you know, we'll just reload and load an earlier save, right? So these are a lot of creatures, and maybe I should have stayed in dual form. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool how they did it with the learning the music and learning the different ways and learning the different forms and finding the different things and defeating all the different bosses. You know, there's still a lot of things that I didn't find and explore. Like, there are a few achievements that I didn't get it right, so it just snaps me out of it. Can you skip that? Right, so S. S to skip, there we go. Even though I'm on gamepad on shit. So it's sort of joysticky bound when I first played it, but it's still recognising the Xbox 360 controller, which is really, really good, to be honest, for how some of the games that I've been showing off on the single player haven't had that accepted and still kept in it. So the fact that one of the earliest games, even though it's in 4x3 and, you know, pretty small, right, so we need health. I don't know if there's anything we can do to get health here, but we're dead. We're super dead. That thing's gonna kill my ass. No. Shit. Shit, he didn't die. Okay, so let's go back to an earlier save and look around the world, because I want to show off the Build the Worlds as well whilst we're in it, rather than just being stuck in the end zone, right? So I think an earlier save would quick game to the menu, hopefully, not just close the entire game. So we'll wait for it to translate, but it's got a cool little storyline as well. So let's go to the bubble cave, because I'm guessing the body is locked in, and then, you know, maybe there's earlier stuff where we could do some of the earlier bosses and look around some of the earlier stuff as well. But, right, so we need the bubbles of water to get up, because the air we can't traverse, so, you know, that's one way of doing it. Oh. Shit. Jump. So we got stuck on that. I don't know why we sing with our ability with this one. I guess it's one that needs to sing. Right, so this is before we freed the other guy, which becomes our dual form. So it must have been one of the last things that I did. But the areas are all pretty cool. Bubble traversal in games, you know, when you need to do specific angles and you get it wrong. Literally, the exit angle needs to be very precise on that one, otherwise we are going to fuck it up, right? So I need the speed and the trajectory and the momentum to stay in there, otherwise we were going to fuck it up, right? Okay, hello. Okay, so we got up there. This one's got a bit of its own gravity well. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Okay, well, thankfully there's also seemingly... Oh shit. No. It's too high. Its own little bubble. But, you know, once we've got the angles down, we can get up there. Okay, there's a lot of projectiles coming in now. But yeah, I think the game's really cool, and that's why I wanted to show it off. Because it definitely deserves attention, even though it's pretty cool, you know. It's still one of the early, really good games, and there have been a lot of games based on this sort of world mechanic as well. So, you know, the overworld, where you go around and you find different powers and you travel in similar sorts of gameplays and layouts. Okay, so here's a boss. But we've got to fight him whilst we're in this sort of bubbly thing, right? So I don't want this form. Okay, so maybe we were in dual form. That's what it was. Okay, so, I mean, that's not a form. Well, that's one that we know is offensive. I don't know how we find that other form that was really good, that had the heat-seeking missiles, which form that one was. It might have been Lee. Right. No. Shit. Trying to do that without getting hit whilst there's a bullet coming into you. It's like, it might be time to move whilst we're going, no, we're not quite getting the angle on that last hit. Okay. Well, I mean, it's an ability. This one's to plant plants, which I think give us mana and different things, so that's how you maybe regenerate mana and health. Okay, so that's not really the ideal one, because it's again this form, which again seems to have a limited mana. So bind
Imprisoned
shield.
soul, I inherited a new song. By binding the verse around physical objects, I would be able to move them through the waters with ease. The verse flowed through me and bound itself around us.
So if I click on it, it kind of tells me.
The song of the deceased energy god allowed me to transform into an energy being, granting me the power to combat my foes.
There we go. That's going to be the one that we want. 3 blind mice. There we go. So if we click on it, it actually gives us the description and tells us about it, rather than it just being energy form. Energy form could be useful if we actually kept our momentum. And that's one of the pretty essential ones. I think this one doesn't run out of mana, so it's the one that we really need to combat foes, and the other one's probably just a stronger weapon from bosses, but it runs out, so you need to keep that in mind. Also, you can just sit on the... Okay, that one's got a bit of a gravity well, so we need to abuse it and not fail and fall entirely. But yeah, this one is the one that we will predominantly use to combat the land on that again. Combat enemies in the world to actually get about right. Let's go. No, it's not going to have enough heat, is it? Enough momentum? Right, so we've got a health bar, but you can regenerate health from a variety of different sources. Going into the boss with weak health isn't really going to be ideal, though. Do you have any health for me, guys? Wow, a bullet that I wasn't paying attention to caught me off guard, right? So let's go the other way. Let's go backwards into the world and get out of this bubble world and, just head off into the world, right? So we're still in that form, right? So going down is going to be far easier. Now we're in the normal water, so, it's not an issue. There are different things like the speed form which are essential for a few different things, especially if you're... Example, I think racing that guy is an achievement. I don't know how to trigger the race, but there's definitely an achievement for racing one of those guys across the world. And, the speed form will help you in moving across. Okay. For a second there, I was concerned that we weren't going to be able to find our way back out. But yeah, all the different areas are really pretty. We've missed entirely. Water bubbles again. We're in water bubble worlds. Above the landscape and above the map, so it's all pretty cool. We're in the sort of nicer area where there aren't so many offensive creatures. Just all the nice little cute creatures. No, don't shoot my little companion. I didn't ask you to shoot. And then, that looks like it should be going down to somewhere. Yes, I know I'm going sort of back to the direction that I was, but I get the feeling that I haven't fully explored everywhere. I know that there are things that I didn't find, for sure, so, I was just having a quick look, and we could sort of be a dolphin and bounce up and down like that. If you want to have fun and be silly, and there's the opportunity to do that. But yeah, it's really cool artwork, and it actually stands up pretty well for how old the game is. Yeah, they're all 2D sprites, but still. It's still really, really well done artwork and still really pretty, so, and the variety of the powers is pretty good, and the way that you use them to solve puzzles like carrying things and singing at different points to copy the boss, and there's a lot of different mechanics in it, which it will be hard to show off without, just resetting and replaying through the entire game, so that's not really going to happen, because apparently I've got, there's air bubbles. I thought maybe... Pardon me, that would be a secret of some sort. But yeah, there's apparently I've played it for 6 hours or something, even though it's like 12 minutes to the end boss apparently. I doubt that highly very much. Maybe it's 12 hours of actual gameplay and it just didn't track properly. That would make more sense. Especially if maybe I've been playing it on offline mode, when not connected to Steam, and it didn't really track the amount of time that you're playing. That would make a lot of sense. So yeah, there's just an awful lot to the game, which is going to be impossible to completely show off. I get the feeling like there's a way to bring up a map, but it's failing me. Obviously there's the mini-map there, but I'm sure there's a way to bring up the overworld map and show you just how expansive and huge it is. Is it in here? Just not in here. But you can see that I've collected some different things, and so there to switch between the things, so we can cook different things, which I don't think I ever really went through, but we got some variety of different items. We got some recipes which you find, so they can give you different things and different powers and different things that you might need. So there's a lot to do in the game if you really want to do absolutely everything, right? So could you close now? plus close. Or we could just turn it into a help text manual that shows you a lot with pets. So obviously there's pets and treasures and, you know, different things in there. I don't know how I double click to get that up. Right, so then we've got these, which are pets. So obviously we've got this pet and this pet, and then there are 2 more pets that we could get, which I never found, apparently. And then these are all the treasures. So there's a lot of treasures that I actually didn't find in the world. So I got a statue, I got a seed bag to spread seeds and plant things, and then the bubbles, and that amused me, and then there's Matthias's potnet. Oh no, it's Matthias. So he ran out of meat in his kitchen, so he got DoorDash. And then there's another page of even more things, and, you know, the turtle egg and the king's skull and trident, and there's a lot of stuff to do and collect. And then that's where the help thing was that I must have clicked that was under the thing. So yeah, it's just a lot to, which I can't really show off, right? Bouncing off the walls is also an effective method of transporting around, so, you know, you can do that to dodge, and then there's spin dodges to dodge bullets as well. And dashes, and the different forms have different dashes. Well, one of them is more effective than others, at least, because it's designed to be like the dash form. So we've got this guy that's going to follow us around. Again, you don't start with that guy, but you find him. So, you know, maybe you get a different ending if you haven't found the lover sort of guy who comes along and helps you out. And you can merge with him, you know, because love. You merge with the one you love and make the beast of 2 backs. No. That's got to be the poorest joke of the channel, right? That has to be the poorest joke we've ever made. And then, like I said, whatever that purple thing was, there's a way to get through that. And there's a way that you do that, but how you do is a forgotten relic of history to me at this point, so I don't remember how to do that. You know, it may seem like we're traversing through an endless sea. Obviously, there's going to be more stuff up there, but I'm not heading in that direction. I don't feel like that is going to be out of the world, and we're trying to leave into a different zone to show you more of the overworlds, and I feel like that's actually going to be down. So we're going to head downwards, because obviously we were up and then, you know, up and out, and the world is pretty huge. It is humongous with a lot of twisting caves and turns, which, again, if there is an overworld map, it would help, but without it, you're just relying on memory, and 10 years old memory at that. So the fact that I can do that is amazing. Right, so steam vents. We might need a specific form to traverse that. Okay. It looks like we're going to need a specific form, and specific forms are not my forte. The sun is not the one. Okay. Can plant some plants. Will planting plants help? It will not. Okay. Oops. Right, will shooting it help? Shooting it does not help. Okay. Now I'm guessing it's actually Okay, so fine.
From the imprisoned soul, I inherited a new song. By binding the verse around physical objects, I would be able to move them through the waters with ease.
I guess there's nothing to bind here, so it's not binds. I thought maybe that crystal might be the one, right?
The verse flowed through me and bound itself around us.
Shields would work, actually. Shields would probably be effective.
By weaving the verse into a sphere, the shield song would protect me from projectiles.
I mean, it's not really effective. Okay. Fish form, I doubt is going to be the one. Spirit form.
After singing the song of the spirit form, I would detach from my mortal frame and enter the world between the living and the dead. Thankfully, I could only hold this form for brief distances. I did not wish to linger in that cold world long.
So that's probably how we get past that purple thing as well, by being in the spirit worlds. Okay, well that's not letting me... No, I thought maybe you attached the crystal. And it might be, you know, if you go from crystal area to crystal area. But that's not helping.
In dual form, Lee and I would bond together to become one new being. Our combined form had two sides, and by using each side properly, we could unleash a devastating attack.
So I guess you could
The
transform
song of
into
the
another
deceased
thing.
energy god allowed me to transform into an energy being, granting me the power to combat my foes.
I doubt that's going to work either, nature form. No.
The verse flowed through me and bound itself around us.
I'm not feeling like any of these are really helpful in traversing this, right? So
By
fish
entering
form.
the fish form, I became one with the simple creatures of Aquaria. I could swim past some of my enemies without detection and navigate small passageways with ease.
No. This is the hardest one to do on this controller. No. There we go. No, still not going to let me get past tiny little fish. I mean, there might be small passages, but it's not here. How do I get past this steam? The steam is not helping, right? We're going to have to quit the game and go to the earliest of the saves. I apologise that I'm not doing a good job of showing this off, but when you know the knowledge and you've played the game, you know how to do all of this, and obviously I knew at the time, but now that I haven't, right? So we haven't got Lee, we haven't got half of this stuff anymore. So this is a very, very early aspect of the game. Right, so again, you know, I've literally got 3 forms.
The song of the deceased energy god allowed me to transform into an energy being.
So they're the earliest ones that you get. And then as you combat things and traverse things, and then, you know, when you're early on like this, it's definitely a different sort of cave experience, and the different areas are very visually set in their ways, right? So this one, again, you know, maybe you need a better form to go against that barrier reef because it's holding you back, or you'll have to just find another way. So they're different puzzles that you have to use the right forms to get through the different areas, and that's how it's progress gated off. So it's, you know, typical Metroidvania, you find the right form, you can do the right thing to get through the right area. The enemies in the early stages are going to be a lot easier than they were later as well, and then sometimes they'll drop health and different things for you, so we don't want to go into that because that will take us upwards. Again, having a map when you are lost and returning to the game, it might be a bit helpful. I think you can cut those vines back with something as well, but maybe it's a form I don't quite have at the moment. So I'm just going to shoot most things because everything is coming for me. Right, so get some drops of fish oil because ingredients for different recipes, which again I didn't really spend time cooking or doing anything, so some of the secrets might be gated beyond that. And again, we can charge this up and shoot off a super shot, which can be useful for some of the bosses, and these guys are just going to bounce up and down and try and be a bit of a hazard, but you can just kill them. Lol. These ones are definitely a hazard, but they're ones that are immune to touch, so they're just gating you off from sneaking through and trying to take shortcuts, which, you know, maybe you can take a shortcut through there. There's a rock which we can pick up with the power form and move, so we're going to have to perhaps get that with Lee. No, I was trying to do it whilst we were closer, but Encoding overloaded. Consider turning down your video settings. I don't think the video settings are high, mate. OBS. Okay, so now that we did have a grip on it. We need to do it whilst going through the air, really, but you can sort of achieve it. Okay, so now that we got that, how do I move it? How do I move it? We've got hold of it, but it's not moving. Odd. I don't know what I'm doing wrong there. It should be coming with us, is the thing. But it didn't. Okay, come with me. Come with me. There we go. Right, so we'll take the stone with us and then maybe use it to traverse somewhere. But, yes. So we can knock these out of the way with the stone. And then that will allow us to progress through here. So we'll try and do it without hurting ourselves too much. So, you know, puzzles that you can solve through knowledge and forethought. Oops. And try not to get blown by the wind into them all as well, because that would be very, very painful, especially when they do hurt a lot, right? So these ones again. Spinning around to try and get it is not the easiest one. We could just drop it and, you know, it would fall naturally to its bottom and then go through, but, you know, if you're going to fail, right? So did I go that way that time? So I'm going to go the other way this time, which is probably somewhere earlier. Again, you know, these things, they do open, but with the right song. Maybe it's the fish song, maybe you go in them with the fish. I forget. But there is a way inside of them, and then sometimes there are things, sometimes there aren't. So we can still boost with this person again, you know, maybe it's a bit of a faster boost than the other thing, right? So this was a boss. Is this the boss that we actually have to fight now? It is, okay. So obviously it's got the airflows, and these things are going to go into the airflows. So you get to see one of the earlier bosses, and you know, it will bring up this vine creature, but again, you know, we don't really want to run into it. Oh shit, it's trappy. Trying to kill it before we get killed by it. So nature goth, and then you're singing. No. I guess I needed to hold it. I might have been too slow there. Right. Maybe it counted, maybe it didn't. But like I say, some of the songs are incorporated into the boss mechanics, so you do have to use them, right? So what are you going to sing this time? I'm waiting for you to sing. Are you going to sing anything? Okay. Yeah, I mustn't have done it right last time. Because now she's woke. Maybe I needed to be quicker in getting my guns out as well. Just, like, that might have been brief vulnerability periods. But yeah, the boss mechanics are really cool, right? So let's get him in the eye. Let's get ready. Get ready! Sing. Come on, sing. I'm waiting for you to sing. And then I will shoot you back when you're ready. Okay, so... There we go, so it is brief moments of vulnerability. But yeah, I think it's really cool how the game was done. The bosses are definitely all very varied as you go through them. And, you know, it's pretty intuitive to pick up what you need to do to go along through the different areas. So I would definitely recommend it, giving it a purchase even after all these days. You know, it's still a fun game, so definitely check it out. Although, you know, coming into it blind when you've already unlocked everything, it's not easy because you forget how to actually do everything. And then it's not... Why are we shooting out of our ass sometimes? It's not so easy to come back into it after a long hiatus when you need to remember exactly how to use all the powers and how to do everything. There is some ability to see what powers do what in the menus, but again, you know, it's not entirely helpful as saying like this does this, because you're meant to learn it as you go along. And that's how you progress through the game, by learning as you do, rather than just, you know, being told everything. You do figure it out as you go along, as you go through the different areas and find the different secrets. And you can get through with a lot less powers than I had at the end, and again, there are even more stuff to find. There is even more stuff to find than I had. Okay. Too slow. I was being an idiot. I was seeing if I could preempt it into the form. But I should have, especially as it was the first note of the song that I wanted, I shouldn't have tried that. We're not going to make it. No, we're not going to make it. I'm so rusty and so terrible at this. And I swear my other gamepad was a million times easier at controlling this. Oh yeah, also that's something you can do, just spin, and that has effects on the world as well, so, you know. There's a lot to discover and figure out in the game, so it's pretty cool and pretty well done. And I think you can spin and, you know, capture the enemy bullets and in the right forms fling them back at them, so definitely a lot of interesting little nuances to the game, which is why I definitely recommend this, so check it out for yourself. This is Aquaria.